The Alliance for Innovation and Transformation is an alliance of pacesetters, forward-thinking higher education CEOs committed to leading by example to show other higher education institutions how to innovate and transform their organizations in the face of unprecedented challenge and change. They offer learning, development, and networking opportunities focused on customer-driven value, innovation, transformation skills, and techniques, and approaches to help colleges and other organizations achieve the long-term sustainability necessary for their survival. AFITHigherEd.com is where you can check them out. AFITHigherEd.com. Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp here on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business if you didn't know. If you didn't already know that, I've said it approximately 471 times that we make education your business. Hopefully you're listening in to the many episodes that we've done and the many episodes that we will continue to do, as of course Elvin Freites, amazing producer of the EdUp Experience, has booked me out until November at this point. Until November, every single day I'll be podcasting. Can you get in? Can you fill one of the spots? Because people do cancel, believe it or not. So there are some openings here and there. There are no openings today, however, and there were no openings yesterday because I'm interviewing people at the Alliance for Innovation and Transformation summer session in Nashville with our amazing friend, Executive Director Erica Leodis, who is running an incredible conference based on happiness and culture and all of these things that help make our organizations great. Again, higher ed is ripe with acronyms, and sometimes we switch words around. So you'll have to forgive me, Erica, when you listen to this episode, because you know I don't edit out my mistakes because we all make them. Somebody that does not make any mistakes is my guest today. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen. She is ready to talk to you all about what's happening in the world of marketing. She is Samantha Cornmesser, and she's marketing manager from our great friends at MDT Marketing. Samantha, what is going on?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you, Joe. I've been listening and being sponsors of your guys' show, and I'm just super, super excited to actually be on it.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. Of course, MDT Marketing is sponsoring the EdUp Experience to be a part of the AFIT summer session, which we, of course, appreciate. And I have talked to some amazing, wait a minute. I have talked to some, wait for it. Amazing leaders in community colleges and presidents, and they're all having a great time. They're talking about culture and talking about happiness. And you know, it's funny, Sam, one thing came up in my talk yesterday, this discussion of brand and marketing, because we're talking about enrollment. We're talking about this really funny space that community colleges are in. And I'm going to kind of lay it out, and you tell me why marketing and brand is so important. Okay.
No, absolutely.
Community colleges, it's in this, it's like this cognitive dissonance space where it is the time of the community college. Everybody wants to upskill and reskill. Community colleges limit student debt and give you an opportunity to get an associate degree, sometimes even a bachelor's degree at a rate that's more acceptable than some private colleges, for example. However, community colleges have had great enrollment challenges. We've seen lots of students not come back from the pandemic, or people decide not to go to school, lots of ins and outs. And all of a sudden, although it's the time of the community college, marketing and branding becomes so important to get students back and engaged. How does MDT Marketing see the landscape of higher education and enrollment across your clients, and how can you help?
Gosh, it's such a loaded question.
I know.
But no, you know what? One of the biggest things for me, especially being in a marketing role for an agency, is brand, and making sure that you're able to tell your story through everything that you're doing. I love companies like Lego and Coca-Cola that have been around for so many years that you don't necessarily need to see their logo to know that it's about them and what they're very passionate about. And that's something too that we're kind of looking at for a lot of education, is just kind of, where's your passion, what differentiates you, and why? why would a student choose your school, and what are your, differentiators on that, and how can you meet them where you are? A lot of schools say that we're going to meet them where they are, and that's great, but are you meeting them where they are? Are you coming to them? Are you showing
Nailed
them
it.
what they're looking for?
I said that today. You do believe it or not, you don't have to believe it, but it's true. Literally this morning, I was having a conversation with somebody about that exact thing. We're meeting the students where they are. And I said, what does that even mean now? We're all saying it. We've got these like post-pandemic buzzwords that we're all using that don't mean anything. Like my least favorite one is unbundle. I hate it. I don't even know what that means. And people are like, oh, we've got to unbundle education. And I feel like they don't know what they're talking about. What does that mean? Education is unbundled. It's been unbundled at community colleges forever, right? You don't have to get meal cards. You drive into community college, take a class, and you leave. It's been unbundled. Mm-hmm. It may not be unbundled at some private colleges and for those that attend, but adult education is unbundling it. We have meet the students where they are, or student-centric, or changing lives. And it's like, okay, but how?
Yes.
And I think we're not so good at that, of telling the how we do things in higher ed.
Yeah, and that's one thing, especially with the marketing, is you have to be very conscious, and it becomes more difficult because, right, when you ever have to write copy or think through a campaign to explain something, you want to make it as concise as possible without, nobody wants to read a book on, right? Nobody wants to read a book, but you have to be very concise and very accurate about what your statements are to explain the how and the why, and kind of capture that piece of it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times we get so caught up in our processes and how we know that this should be working, but not everybody fits in that same process. So that's something that we've been discussing here recently too, in our conversations at our group tables and stuff like that.
One of the things that's interesting about MDT marketing is for 20 plus years, you all have been in the science of marketing, down to the high level dashboarding, the lead tracking, these metrics, cost per lead, cost per enrollment, cost per start. And all of a sudden, when higher education was more comfortable a few years ago, those things didn't necessarily matter to schools. And as competition is heating up, schools are starting to go, okay, wait a minute, we can get our hands around the science that's involved in marketing. What kind of conversations are you having there with your peers from the community colleges? Are there a lot of, aha moments? Is it like, oh, I didn't know that was possible? Is it, oh, we're doing that? Give me like a range of conversations that you might be having.
So we actually, that's funny that you asked that, because we just had our San Antonio Community College was just up. They were the winners of the Aspen Award. And so they had their interim president up speaking. And one of the things that we learned in March during the preview of this Summer Institute was their process for data. And they were one of the first ones that we saw at this community college level that actually talked about data and how to hold people accountable, and not, just, this is how many students are we graduating? No, are you being accountable for the whole process of it? And so that's something that we've been talking about, is like, what are your KPIs? What metrics are you looking at? How do you measure success? And so that was a huge topic that we were just discussing. One of the things too was it's about the graduation rate, but it's also about, are they getting placed where they want to be? Like, what did they go train for? That's something that we discuss a lot with our clients, because a lot of our clients are very career focused schools. So they work a lot very closely with their communities and the workforce that is needed in their communities. And so they'll work with companies in those communities to make sure that they're, we have auto mechanics, we have aviation mechanics, we have HVAC, was a huge one. Nursing, of course, there's such a big demand right now for nursing. But those kind of pieces that we want to, those metrics are super important, not just that cost per start now, that's important, but that end result is a huge piece of that puzzle. And a lot of people lose their ability to track that data a lot as you go through it, because you tend to be like, oh, yep, here's all the marketing data, but you forget that the end result, that entire student journey, is just as important as the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're right, because we do, and I've done it before too. Somebody will ask me like, tell me about your school, tell me about, and I'm like, oh, we have this one student that did all these things, and it's like, well, what about the other 1,000 students, and what kind of metrics can we show? And I know from the work that you've done at MDT, it's important to show outcomes with the schools that you worked with. Outcomes are the best marketing pieces that you can have in testimonials and so on. You guys do personalized videos, you do SEO, you do PPC, you do basically everything as a full agency. Where's the demand right now? When you get a client that comes to you and says, Sam, we need help, what is it that's the most interesting or most in demand service?
Right now, the newest thing that we have, of course, and it's a new flashy piece of technology, is that personalized video piece of it. But the biggest part of that, it's not just that personalized video, it's how you're going to deploy it. Where does it fit in your marketing?
And what does that mean? Tell us what personalized video is. When you say personalized video, describe it for us.
Absolutely. So personalized video takes information that you are gathering from people who are looking or interested in more information from your school. They'll fill out a form. So you get their first name, last name, maybe what program that they want to get more information about. And we take that information and you put it into a video where it could be your school president saying, "Hi, Joe, thank you for your interest in our school. This is a great program." And it will have the program for them. You can even do a little green screen where you can share your screen. It looks like you're doing a kind of webcam thing. It's really interesting. You can actually even have them say the name. So like I said, it says, "Hi, Joe. Hi, Samantha," whatever the name would be. You can put their name on a little VIP card, show them something in the video that you can then mail to them. Be like, "Hey, look in your mailbox. We'll be sending you this postcard." Or
from the video, you mean something that was in the video with a brand icon on it, and all of a sudden they get it in the mail?
Wow. Yes. We call that tangible technology. So yeah, we have a lot of different pieces. And again, the most important part of this is being able to put it into a marketing automation, which a lot of people are, they might have maybe an automated email. They might have maybe an automated text, but to kind of put it all together so it has those touch points throughout the journey. So you're not just, here's your email, okay, see you later. And then kind of,
So I imagine you guys are busy. You're busy at AFIT talking about marketing with everybody. Marketing is one of the ways schools can differentiate themselves. It always is, but now it's especially important because brand is becoming very, very, very important, and differentiation and being able to communicate it in a crystallized way is how a student chooses, right? Because there's parity and quality. And they go, why do I pick Sam over Joe, or why do I pick Joe over Sam? It's because one of us is better at communicating our value, right? And I think that's true for anyone or anything when you're selling to a consumer who is buying something, and in this case, a student's buying an education. So, what do you have to say about MDT? Where do you guys go from here? You leave this conference and you go, you know what? We need to zero in on this, or we need to get back to these schools on that. Is it the video? You think that's the most popular thing? Because I love it. I think it's cool.
I think it's actually the whole package. One of the things that we specialize in, especially when it came to the personalized video and those boosts that come with that kind of a program, it's that whole student journey and the strategy behind it. Discussing, what is the best approach for, communicating with your students or your prospective students. So that's been our big focus, is talking strategy. What are you doing? Is it working? Okay, what is working? What's not working? Where can you change and make little adjustments here and there? One of the biggest things for us here at AFIT, MDT again joined just last year. I think we just hit our 1-year anniversary with AFIT, and we joined them because we wanted to learn a little bit more about how community colleges were working through their marketing, and what areas we could really help them with, and what strategies would be the most effective for them. So that's what we've been busy doing these last couple days here, is learning, getting to know this community.
Yeah, I mean, I love what you and Mitch, of course, Mitch Tallenfeld, my good buddy over there, president and CEO of MDT, that you are saying, how can we help these schools? And the only way to help schools is to understand those schools. And as you guys learn from these community colleges through your AFIT membership, you can then go back and say, okay, here's how we help the community college sector. So if there's any community colleges out there that need help in marketing, you've got we call this it's an embedded marketing agency, as they sit over there with community college presidents through AFIT and learn all about the challenges, successes, and areas of focus at community colleges throughout the U.S., because AFIT has community colleges from basically everywhere. I don't know how many states. So that's incredible. And of course, we thank you, Sam and MDT, for sponsoring the EdUp so that we could be a part of this and have great conversations with people. Any last words, Sam? Tell us how the conference is going, and tell me, how about this? Tell me how the conference is going in your eyes, and what is the most significant thing you have learned?
You know what? One thing I love about this conference is the team building aspect that they bring to it. It's such a different, it's not, and it's funny, we say conference all the time, and our team gets a little confused on that word, because our conference is typically, we're a vendor. We have a booth that we're sitting at and talking with people. That's not what we do here. We're part of the teams. We're a member, just like everybody else. And there's a lot of team building, which, as the marketing manager for a company, that's internal marketing is a big thing for part of my job, and bringing the team together and building our culture and keeping that, lively and involved and stuff like that. So that's been a huge thing for us. And it's just been an amazing session so far. We're going to break out into the breakout sessions here soon. And I'm very, very excited to kind of dive in to hear, more specific stories and key action takeaways that I can bring back to our company too. We're not just here to talk about marketing. We're actually here to learn and grow. And so that's what I'm super excited about to be doing.
Well, I'm disappointed. And the reason I'm disappointed, Sam, is because I was supposed to meet you finally in person today to do this. However, as I've said before, my wife broke her foot. She had a second surgery, and yesterday it was my 10-year anniversary. So I'd like to be among the living, because if I left my wife at home with a broken foot on my 10-year anniversary, I feel like I would then be dead. So
well, congratulations. 10 years. That's awesome. Me and my husband are just celebrated our 9. So next
congrats,
will be our 10.
Congrats. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, it was sort of the work-life balance moment. But yes, I'm sure I will see you again. Everybody, she is amazing. You can contact her. She's all over LinkedIn. She's at MDT Marketing. Her name is Sam Cornmesser, and she's a marketing manager at MDT Marketing, the sponsor of the EdUp Experience at the Alliance for Innovation and Transformation Conference summer session in Nashville, Tennessee right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just EdUp'd. It's no secret that there are considerable challenges facing higher education right now. The teaching and learning methods of the past are becoming obsolete, and time-worn processes have all but lost their effectiveness. No longer will the take no action or move forward with incremental change mindsets sustain operations. Colleges are closing their doors at an alarming rate, and some are teetering on the edge of existence. It's time to join the Alliance for Innovation and Transformation, better known as AFIT. Check them out at afithighered.com. That's AFIT highered.com. If you want to be at the forefront of technology and innovation in education, it's time to look at AFIT.